This is Blade Rondo, Frostveil, Story, and card read. The twisted shadows scatter before your sword. Though Veronica is cornered, her smile never falters. You come to me in search of answers, but to what end? In time our efforts will be fruit. Of this I am certain. Without another word, the witch hurls herself from the window, disappearing from sight as she plummets toward the sprawling forest below. Maria rejoins you soon afterward, her furtive investigation of the Order of the Rose now complete. She has seen the ugly truth with her own eyes. The Order has indeed become a force of evil. Moreover, she claims to have uncovered the location of the Order's secret headquarters. Eager to confront the Order's leader and put a stop to their evil plot, you and Maria set off for the sacred Mount Grand Fatos and the ancient shrine nestled atop its snow-capped summit. You are a Swordian, a human with the ability to use the skills and techniques used by characters of the legend by manifesting them as swords. Answer the call of the swords and let them sing out in battle. Alone or outnumbered, you fight on, undaunted in the shadow of death. You stand unafraid, for you are a Swordian, a sworn defender of the peace. The Frozen Rose. Not long after you begin ascending the rugged, snow-covered path up the mountain, you are surrounded by a group of black-robed Swordians. Their eyes are like coals, and they each wear the same hollow expression. The backs of their right hands molded where they were branded with the crest of the rose. This is what has become of the disciples of the rose. It can't be long now before Veronica's plan is complete. Without a word, the Swordians strike Maria's parries the first blow. Before you can react, an icy voice cuts through the air. As if losing Charles wasn't bad enough, now you mean to stand against the Order? Just how big of a fool are you? A girl pushes through a knot of Swordians surrounding you, her cold blue eyes staring daggers at Maria. Recognition flashing across her face, Maria cries, "Sonia! How can you stand to see the disciples like this? Don't you realize what the Order is?" One of the disciples cuts Maria off with a furious attack, preventing her from explaining what the two of you have learned of Veronica's dark designs. "This," Sonia says, "is what it means to be a true Swordian. Even having lost their souls, they continue to fight to protect the peace." The girl's hand glides through the air, and 7 blue swords appear in its wake. She turns to face you. "You are, in the name of the disciples of the Rose, I challenge you." "Oh, you there. In the name of the disciples of the Rose, I challenge you. Draw your sword, steady your breathing. A new Swordian stands before you." We are here to serve. Sword 61, Cynthia. Frozen Flamberge. Phsyical, cost of 1. Glaciate. Glaciate, new rule. When you play this card, do not resolve its effects. Instead, place it in your set area at the end of your turn. On a later turn, you may turn this card sideways at any point during your turn to resolve its effects, excluding Glaciate, for no cost. If it has a limited icon, discard this card at the end of the turn on which you resolve its effects. Otherwise, return it to your hand. Glaciate. Place the card in your set area. As long as it remains in your set area, the card is considered to be glaciated. She knew then that she had to grow stronger, despite her fears. The heat of her resolve was as a furnace to her timid heart, reforging it as a blade. If the village needed a warrior, then a warrior she would be. Sword number 62, Phsyical, Ashen Analyze. Cost 2 Phsyical. If honed, the amount of damage dealt by this attack increases by 2. Honed. Discard and kindle. Swallowed by the darkness of the brand and stripped of his will, the disciple of the rose laid waste to the village where he was born. Sword 63, Nadia. Snow-capped Spottoon. Physical cost 3. Physical attack secondary. Glaciate this card if it is in your play area at the end of the turn. Abiding by the voice from the heavens, the warrior ascended the dragon's back to stand guarded while it slumbered. Sword 64. Salvine. Limited physical cost of 4. Physical attack secondary. You may choose a card in your opponent's set area with a cost of X or less. Your opponent discards that card. X is equal to the amount of damage dealt by this attack. Outnumbered yet unbroken, the Mosaic Knight fought on against the onslaught of devils, her heart remaining ever free of their taint, whatever. Sword 65, Brooch, Bone Crusher Bludgeon, physical attack limited, cost of 5. Physical attack. Your opponent may discard 2 cards from their hand. If they do, the amount of damage dealt by this attack is doubled. Otherwise, the amount of damage dealt by this attack is quadrupled. Each time she took up her sword to protect her master's beloved, the handmaid was forced to stifle her own conflicted feelings. Sword 66, Cosette. Icicle Galanthus. Magic attack of 1. Glaciate, cost 1. After resolving this attack, you may pay 1 cost to glaciate this card at the end of the turn. In order to entwine her fate with that of the bandit chief, the Ice Witch relinquished the solitude she had gained by casting off the chains of society. Sword 67, Gerda. Violet Vortex. Cost 3, magic attack of 2. Secondary. The amount of damage dealt by your magic attacks increases by 1 until the end of the turn. Having lost her soul and her reason to fight, the older sister continues to hone her strength through force of habit alone. Sword 68, Mizel. Spiral Sage, limited time card, magic cost 3, magical attack of 3. If you have performed a magical attack this turn, this card's cost decreases by 1. Though she exists as a soul without a body, the younger sister continues to weave together the spirits of the dead to piece back together her older sister's heart. Sword 69, The Tempest. Iris Tempest, limited time, cost of 7, magical attack 8. If you have performed a magical this turn, your opponent cannot respond to this attack. Able to manipulate fate with a flick of her fingers, the Arch-Witch lulled the dragon into a deep slumber. Sword 70, Fallen, Hydrangea Hexblade. Special card, cost of 2. Hone, pay 3 cost. Perform one of the actions below. If honed, the amount of damage dealt by the chosen attack increases by 2. Bladecraft, physical attack, in spellcraft, magical attack of 1. Sword 71, Thera. Fruiting Dulce, special card, cost of 2, limited time. Glaciate. Perform one of the following actions. Frenzied Chalice. Your attack increases by 1 until the end of the turn. Nectar of Awakening. You have 1 additional voltage to spend this turn. 1 bite of the divine fruit that the assassin grew beyond the prying eyes of authorities was enough to cleanse the eater of exhaustion, worries, and suffering. Kind of makes me think of Snow White and her evil witch apple. Sword 72, Sulfride and Granfatos, Chilling Growl. Assist, cost of 0, limited time. Hone, pay cost of 9. You gain 2 life. If honed, perform the following action twice immediately after resolving this action. Dragon Roar Blade, Phsyical attack. Resolve this attack as if you had an attack of 15. Holy cow. The dragon slumbers on, dreams filled with the tales of countless muses, yet the knight's faith in its awakening never wavers. Sword 73, Mivi Illyria, Meditating Campanilla. Assist, limited time, cost of 4. Glaciate. Change your life or your opponent's life to 8. The tax collector proposed a fundamental reform of the country's tax system to grant refunds to the needy and greatly improve the safety of its cities. Sword 74, Aaron and Roddy. Assist, Howling Crescendo, limited time, cost of 2. Summon Roddy. At the beginning of your turn, perform the following action. Silver Fang, Phsyical attack 1, defense 2. If you went second, this familiar's attack increases by 1. If honed, its attack increases by 3 for every 3 costs spent. Hone, pay X cost. It doesn't tell you what X is. Believing himself to be an instrument of natural selection, the proud wolf returned countless lives to the earth that bore them. Sword 75, Scene. Assist, limited, cost 3. Summon Scene. At the beginning of your turn, perform the following action. Icy Mist, magical attack of 3, defense 3 for the full thing, I'm guessing. If you have 4 or more cards in your set area, this attack becomes magical attack of 2. Only when summoned can one find the dragon, the spirit that leads intruders astray, and the forest mists sees to that. Sword 76, Doriana. Engraving Lamet. Assist, limited, cost of 5. Summon Dorina. Your opponent cannot respond to this action. At the beginning of your turn, perform the following action. Obliterating Wedge, defense 6. If you have more life than your opponent, you win the match. The mountain god weighs the hearts of those who ascend the mountain and inflicts brutal defeat and death on those found wanting. Sword 77, Dodonia. Restraining Sphinx, limited time, Gambit card, cost of 1. Responds to Phsyical and magical. Negate the attack if your opponent, not one of your familiars, was the attacker. Glaciate the card. In an effort to shield the humans from the dragon's flames, the forest witch faced the dragon on the field of battle. Yet, when she returned, gravely wounded but alive, the survivors condemned her for being unable to slay the beast. Sword 78. I'm not even gonna try because I was gonna literally just sound like I was gonna say gonorrhea. Limpid Moonstone. Gambit card. Cost of 1, limited time. Responds to physical and magical. Decrease all damage you take by 2 until the end of the turn. Her sermons whip believers into a frenzy all across the land, yet in her heart, the lunar priest sees her religion as nothing more than a tool to control the masses.